Okay, welcome to warm up. This is going to be a session where we're just going to be working through the hips and the upper body and everything just to get nice and limber and warm, ready to do our workout. Okay, so whatever workout you might be doing, this is a great, fantastic way just to get everything working and activated before we commence the exercise. Great stuff. So all we need is a mat and your body, and we're going to sit down into the Z sit or hip swivels to begin with. So here we're just going to close the hips up, get into a nice upright position. We can start off with the hands behind you, and we're going to try and lift up through the hips, and we're just swapping direction, making sure always that we're trying to place the knees down on the ground whilst keeping the back up nice and straight. And we're just going to go for 5 or 6 repetitions to each side here, and we're just lifting consciously through the hips there. Okay, fantastic way of just warming those hips up, getting that internal external rotation going. And then we're just going to lift the hands up if you can. If you can't, then don't worry, just keep on going with the hands behind you, but we're just going to try and lift up, and that means that we're lifting all the way through those hips, just nice and slowly to start off with. We're moving from left to right. There, okay. So once we've done 5 or 6 repetitions to each side, we're going to go into the crab press next. Okay, so we're just going to sort our body out. We're going to move the hands just behind you and the fingers pointing backwards. This is a great way of opening up the chest and activating the rear deltoids, the back of the shoulders here, and we're going to activate the glutes as well at the same time. So here we're just going to squeeze the glutes up and pinch the shoulder blades together, opening the chest up and then just coming back down. Okay, so really pull the shoulder blades together, opening the chest up, feel the stretch on the front of the shoulders, and then activate those glutes at the same time. So I'm squeezing my glutes together on the way up. Again, we're going for around about 8 to 10 repetitions of this one. Just nice deep breaths, opening up those shoulders, opening up that chest, bringing those hips as high as you possibly can. Okay, we'll just do a couple more repetitions there. Nice deep breath, and push out on the way up. One more, and just hang out at the top there just for a few seconds. Squeeze and relax there. Great. Okay, once we're going for that one, we're going to go into the Z-sit lifts this time. We're just going to put a little bit of rotation into this one. So we're just going to move ourselves back, shake our shoulders off, and then we're going to move back into this Z-sit position here. Okay, so one leg is out in front of you. As we lift up and out of it, I want you to rotate round towards the forward leg, okay, and then come back down, and we're going to twist that way. Here we're trying not to sit all the way down, so I want to see how well you can control your hips on the way down phase. I'm just placing my glutes on the floor, and then without any pressure lifting back up and out of it. So I'm down, and then I twist up and I'm squeezing my glutes, and I'm just rotating, pushing forwards at the same time. So power up through the glutes and rotate around to there, and it's a great feeling just to get those adductors and hip flexors working through that range of motion. Okay, and then we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. So we swap the legs round into that Z-sit position. The leg which is forward, that's the way which I'm going to rotate to as I lift up, and I'm squeezing. I come back down, and then I twist back over into that position, squeezing those glutes all the time, pushing those hips forwards. Each repetition, try and maybe just go a little bit further into that range of motion. Nice deep breaths again, so breathe in and then push out. Breathe in and then push out. Breathe in and then push out into that one. Okay, one more time, dropping down, almost not touching, and then squeeze up and rotate. Great. Okay, so I'm really starting to feel nice and opened up across the hips there. So give it a couple of seconds just to relax. We're going to go into this downward dog bounce to begin with. Here we're really trying to activate the back of the shoulders and push through the extension of here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into a downward dog with the knees slightly bent here. So we're going to be in that position We're going to push into the hips up nice and high, but the knees are bent for the first round. Okay, here what we're going to do is I'm going to push my shoulders together, squeezing back, and I'm driving my chest in towards my thighs there. So I'm pushing through my shoulders and squeezing the back in that position, trying to really work through the back of the shoulders. Couple of repetitions. Okay, again, 6 to 8. Good squeezes. And then we're going to straighten the legs out into the downward dog this time, so you can move the hands, feel that stretch down through the hamstrings and the calves as much as you can. And then again, we're just going to squeeze back. And then this time we're just going to hold for about 20-30 seconds. So you're going to do some nice deep breaths. Extend those legs out nice and straight, drive those hips up into the air, fully extend those shoulders, squeeze the chest in towards the thighs, and push down with those hands in that position there. So we're really having to work hard to hold that stretch. A couple of nice big deep breaths. And then we're going to just relax there. Whew, fantastic. Okay, so really nice one to relax into those calves, get those hamstrings working onto that one. Okay, so we're going to move straight up into the standing position next. Okay, here we're going to go into our forward fold even. Okay, here we're just going to drop all the way down towards our toes. We're going to grab hold of the back of the calves, and then we're going to start pulling our back in towards the chest, towards the thighs, chest in towards the thighs, keeping nice straight legs, and to see how far you can go into that range of motion. Stand up, overextend again just to release that back, and then we're going to do that one more time. Go down as far as you comfortably can. Once you're there, we're feeling those hamstrings and calves stretch out, and keep the legs straight. And then we just put a bit of pressure on the back of the legs and pull the chest in towards those thighs, trying to really lengthen those hamstrings. And again, just nice deep breaths. We're just going to hold again for another few seconds. Nice deep breaths. And then relax there. Great. Okay, so that's the forward fold. Again, nice one to open up the back and working across from there. Next one, we're going to just go down into the bear rock. Okay, here we're going to just establish the bear position. Here we're just going to start working a little bit more on the shoulders, warming up, and also the wrist flexibility here as well. So here we're going to move up into that position, so we're just hovering the knees just above the ground, but still keeping them bent, bending the toes back, so we're in that position. And then we're just going to rock back so the weight's onto the thighs, and then we're going to rock forward so the weight is going over onto the shoulders. Keep the arms straight, and we should feel the stretch through the wrist as we drive forward into that position. Weight onto the hands and shoulders, weight onto the legs, and we're just rocking in that position. Keep that core nice and strong, like so. We'll just rock forward and back for a few repetitions, feeling those shoulders starting to really have to work to stabilize, and increasing the flexibility of the wrists at the same time. One more rep, just drive forward and then come back up into that position. Excellent. Okay, just rotate those wrists round just so we're releasing those off in a different flexion, and keep nice and warm. Excellent. Okay, so final one here, we're going to go for these Z-sit deep lunges. Okay, so here we need to get back into our Z-sit position which we started off with. We're going to go for the thrust up forward, but this time the back leg steps through, and we're going to go into a deep lunge in that position. Just hang out there for a second just so we feel that stretch through the adductor and also into the top of the hip flexor. And then we're going to move back, step that foot round. We're going to switch over to the other side, and then the back leg this time steps forward, and we drop down into that stretch there. Hang out there for a couple of seconds, nice deep breath out, and then come back down. Place that foot back where it was, so then rotate round again, and then step forward with that back leg to drive into the other side. Whew, nice deep breath. You can lean forward, just experiment what angle you need to go into to be able to get into that stretch. And then we're going to go back through. So this is just the last movement pattern. So just work this way through, just experiment how far we need to go to be able to get into that stretch position nicely around onto there, and we can just start to flow. Once we know where we're at, we can start to maybe just speed up the positioning and the movement pattern a little bit more, so we can drop into it for the last couple here and down into that and swap over. Great. We'll probably do about 4 to 5 to each side on this one, just to be able to get nice and warm, ready for our workout. Great, we're just going to go to that other side one more time. Switch over, drive down. Good. Come back and move through. Fantastic. Okay, well done. So the last thing I'd just like to do is just drop down into a squat sit position, loosen those hips up nicely, so we should be able to just practice going nicely down into that squat sit, and we can just relax there just for a couple of big deep breaths just to finish off. See how far you can actually get down now we've loosened up a couple of those different areas. Okay, that's it. Ready to do your workout.